Edge of Fate is finally here, and this is the biggest shakeup to the sandbox I've seen for many years. We've had a complete rework of how stats work, and as a result there are some ridiculous new things you can now do in the Crucible. Let me give you an upfront summary. The two best stats to invest in are weapons and health. Weapons gives you a damage boost even in PvP, and at certain thresholds actually reduces the TTK of certain guns to game-breaking values such as 3 tapping with a 180 RPM hand cannon or 2 bursting with a 390 RPM pulse rifle. Health is also a phenomenal stat but does nothing for your recovery between 0 to 100 and only really starts kicking in post 100. At 200 health stat, your recovery is better than even the max recovery in the old system, but yeah, in the current sandbox, I think lowering your gun's TTK values to ensure that you win your engagements is going to be king. Remember, Bungie does take a while to balance things, so take advantage of this new system whilst you can. So today I wanted to focus on the new weapon stat specifically and go over which guns are going to be really strong for you to take advantage of this new stat and how you can easily achieve high weapon stat values, especially early on in Edge of Fate when you don't have high tier armor rolls. So for PvP, weapon stat provides handling and reload bonus up to 100, and then beyond 100 it gives you a damage bonus in PvP in a linear fashion. At 100 you get 0% damage bonus, and at 200 you get a 6% damage bonus. So here's a table showing the linear increase you get in damage values at each threshold. So why is this significant? Well, with a little investment into this stat, and I've been able to reach pretty high values of weapon stat with my old gear, you can dramatically change the TTK of some already powerful guns. Remember, everyone's total health pool in the new system is now fixed at 230 health. There's no more resilience changing players' health values. As a result, here are some weapon archetypes that I think can really take advantage of this. 180 precision hand cannons with enhanced precision instrument, 260 rapid fire scout rifles, and then 390 RPM adaptive pulse rifles. 180 precision hand cannons with enhanced precision instrument is basically a synonym for the craftable 180 hand cannon sightline survey. Previously I released a video using the Mask of Bacchus to push this gun's damage values higher so it can consistently 3-tap even 10 resilience guardians, but now with the new system and weapon stat, that is no longer required. You can consistently 3-tap without any prerequisite beyond just shooting your gun 3 times. So the Sightline survey with 158 weapon stat goes from being a 4-tap kill, which is a slow 1-second TTK, to a guaranteed 3-tap with 3 headshots. This drops the TTK down from 1 second to 0.67 seconds, which is basically the OG Luna's Howl and not forgotten territory. With only 158 weapons required, this is the easiest one to test out in my eyes. I've used it now for over 10 games and it's so powerful, and for controller players especially, I can see this being really strong. Once you start getting better armor rolls, you might even be able to get 158 weapons with a high health stat, which would be the ideal pairing. Next we have 260 rapid fire scout rifles. I'm not a big rapid fire scout rifle user, so there's not much footage behind of this archetype, but this includes guns like Fang of Ute and Aisha's Embrace. With 188 weapon stat, this makes the gun go from being a 5-shot kill, which is 0.93 second TTK, to just a 4-shot kill in 0.7 seconds. Actually, even in the old sandbox, you could achieve this with a precision instrument Fang of Ute, and if you hit all headshots consecutively, you could achieve that 0.7 second TTK. That was strong, but not game-breaking in any way, and in this new meta, I see the same being true. It'll be a strong option, especially for longer range maps, but it won't rule the meta. Finally, I want to talk about 390 adaptive pulses. These with the new weapon stat, and you'll need 186 of it, go from being a 7-shot kill, which is a sluggish 0.93 second TTK, to a 6-shot kill, which is now a rapid 0.6 second TTK. So basically, you can achieve the clean 2 burst with this gun now. There are 2 guns that really stick out for me in this archetype. One is Bygones, which many people will already have and can roll with things like Zen Moment and Headseeker, and the other is Syncopation, which is craftable and can also roll with Zen Moment and Headseeker. Both of these guns with the new weapon stat system will be utterly dominant, especially on MNK where hitting 2 clean bursts will be easier. Unfortunately, unless Bungie does any balancing, I can see us going back into a back of the map laning pulse rifle meta very quickly, especially with many people running around with low health stat, so their recovery will be poor. So they'll want to lane in the back of the map with really fast TTK weapons. This isn't an exhaustive list of all guns that have been affected by the weapon stat. There are also other guns that experience TTK shifts with the new weapons. Here's a list of the table with all of them here. Out of these, the ones that really stick out to me include the 900 lightweight SMGs, which can go down to 0.67 seconds optimal TTK now, so something like the Multimac could take real advantage of this. The other gun that really sticks out to me is the 491 adaptive burst sidearms. So guns like the Last Dance, the Last Hope, or the exotic sidearm Trespasser, which goes from a 0.73 second TTK in 7 shots down to the clean 2 burst 6 shots in 0.5 seconds. This also means you can 1 burst people with super burst from Trespasser, which is incredible because that's like a 0.3 second TTK when you get it active. Again, this is something I released back in the old sandbox using the Mask of Bacchus damage boost, but yeah, now you don't need that. You can just have it active all the time with the weapon stat. Remember guys, this is very much the start of Edge of Fate, so I'm sure as soon as we experiment more and more with the weapon stat, we'll find more and more breakpoints for other guns, even things that don't shift TTKs necessarily, but just increase the forgiveness of the gun, which might be game breaking. So yeah, keep a lookout for this space. We might update this guide sooner. So now that we've covered which guns can take advantage of this new stat the most, how do we actually achieve such a high weapon stat? So the obvious thing is that we need to find gear with high weapon stat, and you want to be putting weapons mods on all these pieces. Remember to put on the Gunner Armorer mod on your Ghost, so more armor with this stat is more likely to drop. Remember, your class item now can give a lot of stats, so look out for new legendary drops of your class item. If you're struggling for weapon stat, then you could even use an exotic class item. These can roll with very high stat rolls, like look at this piece here. It has 40 weapon stat with mods, and you could even use it outside of Prismatic if you're desperate for stats, and I've done that early on in Edge of Fate. The other thing you can do is look for fragments which give weapon stats. Like here I'm using Echo of Dilation, which gives 10 weapon stats, so I can cross that 186 threshold for the 390 RPM pulse rifles. As you get better and better armor with higher tier gear, this will become a non-issue, and eventually you'll want to stack health alongside weapons. Unless of course they nerf the damage bonus weapons provides in PvP, at that point you'll want to go all in on health to 200 because having less time to recover between engagements is going to be the difference between you staying alive or dying in a 1v2. So there you have it, start stacking the weapon stat and start trying out some of these guns in combination with a high weapon stat. They are absolutely incredible with the new TTK values. If you enjoyed what I talked about today, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny videos as we get deeper into Edge of Fate. I'm Mr. Ronit, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.